Hey guys, and welcome back to the sixth part of our exit strategy seminar. And today we're going to be talking about active rest. Take a mental break, but not a physical break. So what do we mean by that? So we've already discussed that when you've reached the finish line, when you reach the end goal, that there is a lot of focus, there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of excitement. Your mental state is very driven towards that final goal. When you reach that finish line, typically what happens is, especially this happens with a lot of professionals, physique competitors, anything that you have a particular goal, pregnancy, as weird as that sounds, a lot of people have this postpartum, this depression that usually follows that, and generally it'll because not because anything physically that happens, but it's usually a mental letdown. You have mentally gotten to this point, you've searched for this point, you've thought about this point, you've anticipated this point, you get to the finish line, and then you're like, what's next? So it's good to prepare ourselves before that. So, and a lot of times the other thing that happens too, and we've discussed this earlier, is that people will they'll continuously go through things. They'll get to that finish point. They'll push, and when they're there, then they'll be like, I'm taking a break. But it's not just a mental break. They take a physical break too. They're like, I've worked hard, so I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to, take, whatever it may be. And the problem with that is that time off generally will spiral into bad eating habits, obviously bad physical habits. They're not going to be as active. Weight will start coming on. They'll start feeling bad. And then it almost becomes a self-sabotaging nature where it just spins out of control. And I think we can all look at that and say, have an example, whether it's ourselves or someone else where we've seen that happen to. The small break turns into a large break. A lot of people that schooling, I mean, this can be used as an example for schooling. Someone's like, well, I'm going to take a semester off of school, which turns into which turns into more than a semester, a couple semesters, then it's a year, then it's longer than that. So the best advice that I give people once they reach their goal is to keep being physical, to keep being active, to keep with their nutrition. We've talked about backing up a little bit, but you don't stop, because as soon as you stop, then it can spiral into a lot of other things. And there's little things like taking a weekend off, taking a vacation, a week off here, a week off there. But if you're continuously still focused on your goals and your goal of maintenance, you're still, in the back of your mind, going to still be, having good eating habits. They may not be great, but they'll be good. You may not be a workout king or queen, but they'll still be decent workout habits. The key is you're trying to maintain. And the most important thing is once you reach the goal, a lot of times people are ready for a break. So a lot of times people are ready to rest. A lot of times people are just done. But most of it is generally mental. Most of it wanting that mental break, because when you're searching and reaching for a goal, you can get emotionally and mentally just worn out. So by going into a almost cruise control where you're eating good, maybe still logging your food, working out 3-4 times a week, 30 to 60 minutes, that stuff, if you have a goal and you've worked out very hard and you've watched your calories to the calories, so to speak, or to the ounce or to the gram, you already have the habits in place, and all you have to do is back off slightly, and that's very easily mentally for people to do. Another example that I would give is, most people, or some people, think that they can make progress all the time. Well, your body has limitations. There's things that, you get to a certain point, your body won't allow you to go any further. And it's absolutely impossible. I've never seen it happen to anyone where they make continuous improvements constantly, nonstop, year-round. People need to take breaks occasionally, but you have to be very careful when you take a break. You have to be very careful when that break happens, because if you just stop, the weight will come back. So there has to be focused times, whether it's for an 8-week period, 12-week period, 6-month period, where you're very focused, you have a specific goal in mind, you're reaching towards that, you're fighting towards that, and then once you reach it, your body at some point, your brain at some point will say, I've had enough. So then you need to take a rest, you need to take a break, and then you can then get into something else in the future. So during those breaks, which you do need to recharge your battery, so to speak, for your body to recharge, just allow yourself to rest mentally, but not physically. That does not mean that you stop eating well. It does not mean that you stop exercising or going to the gym. All it means is that you back off a little bit. Maybe you take a slight break from the weights. Maybe you take a slight break from going to the gym, but you're still out being active with friends, family. You're still monitoring, making sure that you're active throughout the day. Maybe you stop logging your food for a little bit, or you stop on that strict diet, but you're still going to keep with the same basic parameters of good nutrition. You know, X amount of meals, X amount of, watching, fats, sugars, so forth. But you're never stopping. That's the key. And you're always focusing on goals. Maybe you get a body fat test regularly. Maybe you get measurement testing. Maybe you weigh yourself once a week. Whatever it is, we have that ideal. We have the middle point, and you're just allowing yourself to get a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. You're taking a slight break, but you're never stopping. So I hope that makes sense. The most important thing when you reach the finish line, once you have that exit strategy in place, is you take a break. You take a mental break to just put yourself into cruise control, which is easy, which is your lifestyle. You just don't take a physical break, because the things that drive you towards new goals are things that you have to really, really, really push yourself. You just go back into maintenance and live your normal, healthy, fit life. And look forward to having you join us for our next step, and I hope this was helpful for you today.
When you feel that something's wrong, I'll shelter you and keep you warm. I'll never let you walk alone.